Good morning, friends. This is your old girl, Melanie Rose, here to share your daily aspects. Today is Wednesday, November 3, 2021. Samhain blessings, everyone. Today is the fourth of 5 days between solar Samhain, which was on Sunday, and lunar Samhain coming up this Thursday with the new moon in Scorpio. Scorpio sun and moon are ruled at this time by Pluto, chief harbinger of death and rebirth. Endings and beginnings, friends, we rarely see one without the other. At this time, we celebrate the final harvest and the encroaching cold and darkness of the next few months. A time of gestation, if you will, between the death of one growth cycle and the birth of the next. We celebrate the dead that we count among our loved ones and those who most inspire us. We look to our intuitive and magical practices to bring us closer to the truth within and beyond what our ordinary senses can tell us, and we use those truths to transform our outlook, our approach, and our being. The moon begins in Libra today, making ingress to Scorpio this evening. This represents a shift from airy, values-oriented energy to a watery energy that dwells in emotion and intuition. Moon in Libra brings out our love of beauty and accord, while Moon in Scorpio turns that impulse within, seeking accord with our most heartfelt desires. The moon will be in Scorpio from this evening until Friday evening. This is in addition to the sun and Mars being in that same sign right here. It is interesting to me that this moon placement essentially straddles the new moon, coming in while the moon is waning and leaving us again only when the moon is waxing. The waning moon gives us an energy of decreasing. This applies to our emotional, intuitive edge as well as our health and physical possessions. It's like an exhale. The new moon is like the resting point between an exhale and an inhale, like an empty cup. It causes us to think about what it is we need and desire and set an intention for what we want to fill it with. And so it follows that the waxing moon gives us an energy of increasing, like an inhale. We can feel our energies swell and draw more things to us. So the moon in Scorpio, ruled by Pluto, planet of endings and beginnings, is literally here with us at the end of one lunar cycle and to see us through to the beginning of the next. This is the time to be very clear with ourselves about the changes we're going through, what we have given up, and what we intend to take on in its place. Be specific. The universe wants all the details, the better to provide for your hopes and dreams, my dears. The sun acts like a spotlight on those things the sign it is in is most connected to. So, like cutting open a piece of fruit, Sun in Scorpio will shine a bright light on those parts of us that usually go unseen. This sign doesn't take superficial or mediocre responses to questions regarding our core truths. So when the questions are asked, what do you value? What do you desire for yourself? What will it look like when all of your needs and desires are met? We can't shy away from honest self-appraisal, nor are we allowed to shirk our responsibility to this part of ourselves we're accustomed to hiding. The only changes worth making are the ones that bring us more into alignment with who we truly are. And that is all Scorpio asks of us, to be fully realized and fulfilled human beings. No big deal, right? In truth, it is the task of a lifetime and 100% worth the mostly internal labor involved. Okay, let's take a look at these planets and aspects before we get into the interpretations. I've lined this out a little bit differently. I kind of made a mistake and just decided to go with it. Here's to not being rigid. So we have the sun here, and the sun represents our outer life. This is who we are when we step out the door into the civic world, our social life, our work life, and the person that people meet when they meet us outside the home. And then this is the inner life. The moon represents our emotional and intuitive selves, what our relationship is with ourselves, what we think about ourselves, but also it relates to our domestic sphere, so where we live, who we live with, how we are in that space. Okay, let's see. I have Uranus here. I'm just going to start over here, I think. Uranus is the change maker. So Uranus is always an advocate of personal freedom and basically of doing things different. So if something's not working for us, Uranus gets involved and says, hey, do something differently. And then you do, and you make a change, right? Right. Venus, love and money. Or how do you relate to those people and things that you value the most? Mercury, the intellect. This is mostly your day-to-day communications, thoughts, plans that you make, the traveling around that you do. We have Jupiter. This is growth and opportunity. Jupiter is about positive expansion. Pluto, death and rebirth, endings and beginnings, the extremes of things, including emotions and reactions and intuitions, that kind of thing, our knowing. Oh, I've already said Mercury, haven't I? Yep. We'll go with Mars. Is our sense of personal initiative. Your will to act, your urge to do things. Yeah. Oh, and Pluto. We have Pluto as well. So those are the planets. Let's take a look at the aspects. This is perihelion. And that is when that planet will be at its closest point to the sun. Ingress. In Greece today is just a transit word that says this planet has moved from one sign into the next. Sextile. Is a positive vibration. It's a cooperative energy, and cooperation makes things happen. Trine, just one. Trine is the very positive, harmonious aspect. This is where these planets are getting along at their best, and so really good things can come out of that. A couple of squares, which is representative of the potential for challenges. Conjunct. Okay, we're really going to challenge my writing here. Conjunct is the mutual booster. So the energies of both planets in that in that aspect are going to be amplified. All right. So those are the plays, and these are the players. Let's take a look at some interpretation. In my ongoing column today, I have Mars and Scorpio. I've been leaving this Mars and Scorpio up here just as a reminder to us. The Sun in Scorpio already lends a lot of strength, especially of the internal and emotional and intuitive kind. When we add Mars and Scorpio to this mix, it's like a physical burst of energy in the same direction. We feel compelled to act on our feelings and intuitions, or more to the point, on the truths we have uncovered within. So I'm going to call this a Scorpio booster. Mercury square Pluto. This is day two of this for this aspect, and it's easy when Mercury and Pluto get together for us to find ourselves going to some extreme in our thinking about the world, or we could be somewhat forceful in our in the way we're trying to go about communicating something that's important to us. With a square aspect, this isn't really going to go over well with other people. So try not to get attached to any theories that are based in speculation and might seem outrageous. The evidence on offer for those things is often pretty flimsy. This is day two of this aspect, and I encourage you to go easy on yourself and others, especially when it comes to thoughts and communications. We'll go think easy. Take it easy. Be cool, Fonz. Hey. Okay, and this brings us to today's aspects, which I give in Central Standard Time because I am in Fayetteville, Arkansas, y'all. At 8:08 this morning, the moon runs trine to Jupiter. What a nice way to begin the day. When we feel positive and generous in the heart and home, it's easy to share with our loved ones. We feel friendly and social, and with an open heart to share honestly with others. This is a 2-hour aspect, and these are all going to be 2-hour aspects. You see, they're all moon aspects. So these really equate to sort of moods or energies that might be in the air. They're not necessarily things that are going to happen to us or things that are going to impact us very deeply. But it is nice to wake up feeling happy and positive in our hearts and homes. I like that. We'll put a little smoke out the chimney there. Okay, and then at 10:57 a.m., moon runs square with Pluto, so well out of the previous transit. This one has the potential to bring in a little bit of anxiety. We're warned of a tendency toward compulsive or destructive behaviors. This is a 2-hour aspect. So if we don't fall off the wagon immediately, we might make it through with no trouble. And that was, when was that? Because I didn't write it down. 10:57. Right around lunchtime. Don't get hangry. Just get a sandwich or something. Take care of yourself. Hang in there. And then at 2:27 p.m., the moon runs conjunct with Mercury. Conjunct aspects amplify the effects of both planets as they work together. So we may feel a present need to talk about our feelings, especially at home. Writing them down can be as effective, especially when it comes to our domestic relationships. It's best to get some feelings off of our chests while the time is ripe. This is a 2-hour aspect. So if you have something you need to get off your chest, find the right person and do it. And then at 5:32 p.m., a void of course moon makes a sextile with Venus. This aspect brings us back to the beginning of today, basically, when we were feeling happy at home and ready to connect with our loved ones. It's a good time to host dinner if you like to do that kind of thing, and relax with friends too. It's a 2-hour aspect. After that, at 7:52, the moon makes ingress to Scorpio. So here's a quote from the Wee Moon calendar. Moon in Scorpio turns us inward, deepens our curiosity and focus, but gives us attitude. We need privacy, as moods may be prickly. Clear the deadwood of soul or garden, still waters run deep. Tomorrow is the new moon in Scorpio. It is appropriate at the new moon and the days following it to set our intentions in regards to what we wish to make manifest in our lives. Especially when it comes to deepest desires, Scorpio empowers those changes. Be specific about your intentions. I can't overstate how important that is as you plant these seeds. This transit takes 2.5 days. Intentional seed planting. And then after midnight, just because I like to throw one of those in every once in a while, at 12:55 a.m. on Thursday, the moon runs conjunct with Mars. So for this aspect, here's a quote from astrologyking.com. Moon conjunct Mars transits make you feel strong, sexy, and brave. You can take the initiative and act with passion when your emotions are aroused. Your quick instincts and fighting spirit can be used to defend your home and family. Recall that Mars is currently in our Sun and Moon sign of Scorpio, and if you're awake for it, this 2-hour aspect takes on a little bit of extra potency. This is an act on emotions and intuitions. And if you haven't figured it out by now, I pretty much equate emotions to intuitions. Our emotional response to things is often our most honest internal response, you know. And sometimes, we all learn throughout our lives to not let our emotions necessarily guide every decision that we make. But our emotions do tell us how we feel, and they tell us when we think something isn't right. And that is the same thing as an intuition. An intuition tells you how you feel, and it tells you if something isn't right. So, fight me on that. But this, if you're awake in the middle of the night there, especially with the sun in Scorpio, the new moon in Scorpio, Mars in Scorpio, this might be a good time to make some action, maybe some ritual action that advertises or celebrates or expresses your feelings and what you intuit about yourself and your life. Yeah, what I said. Coming up this week, the combination of Samhain festivities and the diminishing moon through tomorrow continue to make this a good time for scrying and divination. Bring out your tarot cards, get your pendulums, whatever it is that you use to ask questions of the divine. This is the time to do it. This Thursday, Uranus will reach its perihelion, bringing more visibility to the power, more visibility and power to the urge we have to do things differently. On Friday, Venus moves into Capricorn and Mercury into Scorpio, of all signs. And at the end of the week, Mercury will make a lovely sextile aspect with Venus, encouraging us to open up to those people who are closest to us. And we will talk about these things and more in upcoming episodes. That's it for today, friends. This has been your Daily Aspects, an astrological weather forecast for Wednesday, November 3, 2021. If you haven't already, please like my video and subscribe to the Old Girl channel. I will leave this up here for about 30 seconds so that you may have time to look it over. My name is Melanie Rose, and I will see you all back here tomorrow for more Daily Aspects.